at a Lil Baby concert, we had, you could say zealous fans or what do you call them, stage crashers
Yeah,
who
stage crashers.
were jumping on the stage. And we have some video of what happened and what the response was. And it's a little shocking. So if you're watching this currently, or if you watch the segment a little bit later, be advised, this is a little violent, but security took action to grab one of the stage people, fans, and threw him off the stage, but it was a little aggressive, and he went kind of face for, or at least what it looks like, face first into the barricade. So I don't know if you have that, but let's pull that
Yeah,
up.
let me pull that up right now. So I think it loops right on Instagram. So this is the footage. You got the fan
All
on
right,
stage,
here
like,
we
oh my god, and then
go.
that guy just
Boom.
right into that. Yikes!
So you don't see the actual where his head or neck collide with the barricade, but that was
Oh yeah,
yikes.
you kind of do. You kind of do. Can you pause these things? Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see if I can catch this guy. Let me see if I can
Pausey
catch him.
pause.
Oh, so you got right there. Yeah, I mean, there's his head.
Oof. Yeah.
I mean, and those are metal barricades that that hurt. I was in an incident when I was like 16 where security shoved me into yeah, we can just keep this loop. Where security shoved me into a barricade and I still have a scar from it. Those things are incredibly dangerous. Now, this guy doesn't, I don't know if this guy is event security or if he is Lil Baby's personal security. Um, but this shoving of kids off the stage that crash the stage or whatever is nothing new. I mean, this isn't a
No, and there's a legal basis to do this, but I'll walk through that. So for you, it's something you actually experienced at a show. But the way this works, guys, is that we don't know what was about to happen, right? We just had for example, Dave Chappelle, right? We had someone who got on
right,
stage to potentially do something. Did they have a weapon? What was about to
right.
happen? So you want security to act. If it was me, I would absolutely want my security to get that person off the stage. I wouldn't want anything to happen to that person, but obviously, I don't know if he intended to. But
That's
from
Yeah, but that's not. I would think that the way that you would want to remove somebody like that from the stage is to pull them back behind stage, not shove them forward. Because if you're shoving them into something, you have no control. You're basically shoving them molding. You know that they're going to fall at least 8 feet. There's nowhere else they can go. Whereas
okay,
if you
so
take them
then
back, you what a lot of shows is they'll take them back down and around the side of the stage. This is from experience of playing hundreds of shows. They will take them back around off the stage on the back, and then you'll get escorted out of the venue from the side. So, for to shove forward off of a building, um, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, and so guys, we look at whether there's been excessive force, right? So, the person, if he was harmed, if he had to go to the emergency room, he broke his neck, he could never walk again, he may be able to bring a claim. Anyone can file a lawsuit, but the question is, was there excessive force used? Because you are allowed to defend as a security
Right.
person, the person you're there to protect. So, sorry, that person kind of, took on that responsibility when he crashed the stage and knew that something was going to happen. So, security person acts, does his job. There was provocation, throws him off the stage. And so, quite frankly, I think that a claim might not stand up whatsoever. Right. But then let's for the argument's sake, let's look at the venue, right? Does the venue have any responsibility because of maybe where the gate was placed? Right. I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
reaching
know.
here. I'm reaching here.
I don't know. I think you're right as far as I don't think that a claim will be hard to do, but at the same point, like that is incredibly excessive and the wrong way. Like I saw somebody in the crowd, it might not be enough time to take him back. Fair enough. You don't know if somebody has something. But I think the way to do it is down, not pushing them off a fucking 8 foot stage where you
Yeah, I
don't
mean that
know
was definitely a
into a
drop, right?
metal.
What was that? A
Yeah,
5 foot
look at that.
drop? It, it,
I mean, that
it was
it's
a
taller than
decent drop
all of those securities.
onto what looks like concrete. But when you have an unlawful act, it's almost like provocation. So it's tough for someone when you do something you're not supposed to, or you're breaking the law, and then you end up getting hurt. As a result of what you're doing, it's very difficult for you to then come back and say, "Well, I'm suing you because in your defense of the artist, I was hurt."
Yeah. Hold
All
on real quick.
Yeah, let me go to the chat here really fast. Chris, let's see. Exactly as Lemon God found out a few years ago when the fan died, when the singer push them off the stage, right? Because okay, that's a great example when it comes to bands. This happens a lot with shows. People get on the stage, they try to kind of get into it with band members. They're trying to mess with the band members' equipment. They're grabbing guitars. You have the right under the law to defend yourself, to defend others, and to defend your property, even if that ends up resulting in harm to someone else. So, I think that and this wasn't the end of it, right? This wasn't the only fan. There's another thing that's coming. We're gonna look at.
There's another incident that happened at the same festival, and I believe where did this happen, in like Switzerland or something? I believe it was like in Switzerland. This festival. Yeah, Switzerland, at the open air Frauenfeld Festival. I had a similar situation on stage. So I'll tell a quick little story about, I was, attacked on stage one time when I was playing. I just bought this brand new Schecter guitar, and it was fantastic, and I was really excited. It was my first show playing, and this drunk fan was really excited at the show, and he decided to reach out and grab my guitar and try to yank it off of me, and like it was a whole thing. Now security had dealt with him. Maybe I shouldn't tell that story as much, but let's just say that, this is something that happens like everywhere. Everybody has fans that have jumped on stage. You hear a lot of situations where, rock bands have like they'll kick. I can think of a rocker in particular who used to say, this is my place of work. If, like, just like with heavy machinery, if you come on stage, then you better be ready to do business, or, suffer the consequences. And he would, throw them off stage or kick them in the face when they would try to get on stage. And,
Yeah, and it doesn't mean anyone can bring a lawsuit. It doesn't mean you're not going to get sued. The band's not getting sued. Pablo says, yes, beat his ass. That's so disrespectful to hop onto someone's stage or set. Like Dave Chappelle, he could have been killed or seriously injured. And that's the thing. We've seen things like Ariana Grande, right? There's this was a couple of years ago, but she's on stage and she's doing this somber moment in the show. And I think her eyes are closed or something, and she's like on her knees. And you see someone coming up who had gone on the stage behind her. And it took a moment for anyone in security or anyone else to respond. And he, like, we didn't know what was going to happen. So it's a scary thing, and so you have to kind of find that fine line of, if you are security, you have to defend the person you are there to protect. But obviously, watching that video was a little crazy.
It was a little tense. Now I don't want anybody to get me wrong. That guy had no business being on stage. I'm just saying that it looks like you're pushing him off a building, and that there's got to be a better way than that to do it. He had no business being on stage. I'm not saying that he was right, or he's the victim. He should have known better. But nonetheless, I mean, I just, that looked pretty hardcore, and I just know from experience how we'll say intense security guards can be, especially in a club scene or a venue scene like this.
Yeah, but that's not where it ended, right? So where did this go?
That's not where it ended. So, there was also at that show, Roddy Ricch had a similar incident. Let me see if I can pull that guy up. And, he had a similar situation where a fan came up on.
Yeah. And you see him looking at the fan.
Now the fan tries to grab his shoe, and then he comes up behind while he's already down and kicks him off the stage.
Yeah. So he took it a step further, right? That person had already been apprehended by security. He was already being shoved off the stage, and then obviously there was the additional kicks, it looks like, to the torso area. I don't know how much damage that could have done, but you never know.
But this is a situation where I don't think Roddy should have had anything to do with it. It was already been taken care of. For him to go over and involve himself when somebody is already down, to me, that just looks like a punk move to me. To me, he looks like a punk. Like, the guy was already down. He was already tackled by enough security guards for it to go after he's already down, being restrained, to go up behind him and kick it. Like, that's lame. Now, that being said, I do like Roddy Ricch's music, so let's not get it twisted there. But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a punk move. That's a punk move. It was already taken care of. Look at these guys. They had it handled, but he had to put his 2 cents in. Stupid.
I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? In those moments,
you gotta look cool.
Yeah,
So
you
I
you
don't
got to
know.
be careful. You got to be careful for sure.
And and then also Cardi B had a similar kind of situation in London. I'll just mention real quickly, where people thought that she was above the fans, and it looked like she was hitting her microphone and hitting a fan. She's claimed that it was all good, it wasn't a fight, but that was also captured. So you're just seeing a lot of altercations in between fans and artists on stage. But again, this is nothing new.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you have things like the Travis Scott, Astroworld Festival tragedy where people actually are dying, where people are going to the hospital, and you have things that happen where there's like extreme injury and casualties, and where now we're looking at billions of dollars in
Mm,
lawsuits,
mm,
and
mm.
not to take away from any of these kind of scenarios where fans are hurt, or because they were jumping on the stage, but it just goes back to what I was saying. If there's a provocation that comes into this, right? If you're going to claim
Yeah,
you were hurt, were you the one that was provoking the situation, doing something that was illegal, or putting someone else's life in harm, or giving them the perception that you are putting their
right,
life in
right.
harm's way? So therefore, security's going to pop up.
And just remember that, everybody has their cameras out at all time. If you have security there, just trust your security. I guess in the instance of Lil Baby, security got a little excited, but you didn't see, Lil Baby jumping off the stage and or spitting on him afterwards. I mean, we've seen Travis Scott get into fights where he is like literally just yelling at the crowd to punch somebody that took a shoe or whatever, and he's like punching and hitting people. Like, let your security take care of that stuff. Don't get involved. You don't need that heat. Everyone's watching. It's on film.